Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me once again. I wanted to drop a quick video because there is a lot of spiritual warfare going on right now. A lot of demonic forces that have been unleashed. A lot of things going on in our world, and I want us to be careful that we don't look at people. We don't start to look at people versus the spirit that's operating in the person. I began to start getting very irritated with some things that were going on around me, and the Lord began to tell me that it was a spiritual fight that was going on. It wasn't the people; it was a spiritual fight, spiritual warfare that was going on. And so it made me realize that we have to change from the praise of prayer to the posture of prayer. Sometimes we can pray because it's just the right thing to do. We can be praying because we're going to get accolades for showing up to pray for people, or we pray on platforms because of the praise of people. But it's time as believers for us to get in the posture of prayer. And what I mean by that is getting in the place of prayer where you're not worried about who's watching you. You're not worried about praying on the platform. You're worried about being in the posture of prayer, meaning that you're in a position to pray. And when you're in a position to pray, you realize that your prayers are going to be effective because you are in the posture of prayer. And when I say posture, I don't necessarily mean kneeling down or being in a certain place or being in a certain stance or anything like that. I mean having your mind set on the possibilities of God. Having your mind set that, God, I see this warfare that's going on in my life. I see this warfare that's going on among our children. I see this warfare that's going on among our families, among our marriages. And I'm going to get in the posture of prayer because I believe that you are going to start to change things in my life. And one of the things I want you to realize is that the enemy is not more powerful than God. But a lot of times the enemy wins because the people of God are not in the posture of prayer. They're not in the place of prayer where they need to be casting down those high imaginations, casting out those demons, casting out those spirits, those demonic forces, those powers of darkness. And so as believers, we got to get in the posture of prayer. We got to get in the place of prayer and really believe God, really understand that I'm praying because I need to see things changing in my life. Can I tell you the opposite of praying, being in the posture of prayer? The opposite of that is being in the praise of prayer. And so that means I want people to see me. I want people to see me as this person that, is a prayer warrior. Is this person that's on top, this person that is so connected to God. But what we need to realize is that God is calling us in this time to pray. And I'm not just talking about, just a, 2-minute prayer or just a 3-minute prayer. Even though Peter did say, Lord, save me, and God saved him. But that was a quick instance. We need to be intentional about praying consistently. One of the things that we need to start doing as believers, and many people do, is praying in the spirit. Sometimes you don't always have the words to say, but if you begin to start praying in the spirit, then you can begin to start casting down some things, and you can begin to start charging against things that are actually charging against you. It's time for us to not only put up our shields, but it's also time for us to start running toward the enemy. If I think about David and how Goliath was coming against and talking about the people of God, not only did he have his shield and his sword, but he also began to charge toward the giant in his life. And I believe that as believers at this time and at this place in our lives, we need to start charging against those things that are coming against us and not running from those things. God doesn't call us to run from the things that are coming against us. He calls us to charge those things that are coming against us. Go against those things that are coming against us. Fight against those things that are coming against us. Stand against those things that are coming against us. Because God doesn't call us to be wimpy Christians or wimpy saints. He calls us to be more than conquerors. He calls us to be victorious. He calls us to stand and fight. He causes us to win. And we can win when we get in the posture of prayer. Not just the praise of prayer. Not just somebody telling you, oh, you prayed well or you did well. No, but beginning to see things change in the spiritual realm. Beginning to see your children delivered from things that are binding them. Beginning to see your spouse and the people that's close to you delivered. Beginning to see the people in your ministry change and delivered. When we get in the posture of prayer, when we get in a position of prayer, God begins to change our lives. God begins to change the atmosphere. God begins to change the things around us. Don't be focused and caught up with the praise of prayer, but be caught up in the posture of prayer. God bless you.